homes in the last 7 years. We would never buy anywhere but Fulton Homes.
We actually tried other builders, looked at them, and nothing compares to Fulton quality. We're repeat builders with Fulton. It's been an amazing process, and we would never go anywhere else after experiencing it. The process working with the Fulton team was great. They cared. We got updates, and you could just tell how much they were excited, almost as much as we are. Fulton is so good at the homes they build. The quality you get is just really unmatched. They continue to care about us as a client, even though we've now finished the sale. I admired their communities because they were always a step above. The amount of landscaping, the way it was always groomed. They add the features that you want to be outside, you want to be in the community. And that matters to us. We want to be outside, not just in the home. And all the amenities are just amazing. We would buy Fulton Homes again in a heartbeat. I don't think we'd consider anybody else.
Fulton Homes. You're proud to own, we're proud to build.
When we say jumbo, we mean jumbo shrimp. Del Taco's Jumbo Shrimp Tacos are packing serious flavor. Crispy jumbo shrimp wrapped in a warm flour tortilla with crunchy cabbage, zesty pico de gallo, and our savory secret sauce. Get 2 jumbo shrimp tacos stuffed with big shrimp energy for just $6. That's right, get 2 jumbo shrimp tacos for just $6, only at Del Taco. But hurry, this offer's here for a limited time. Price and participation may vary.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Ink card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Ink Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for Business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Struggling to pay your energy bill? At SRP, we're here to help. Whether you need immediate financial support or tips to lower energy costs, we're here 24/7. Visit srp.net/help or call 602-236-8888.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix. It's the lunch break.
I'll just say it, a top 5 sports day of the year is upon us. It is officially draft day. The 2025 NFL draft just 6 hours away for us all. The coverage starting tonight at around 5 o'clock, and we are going to dive into everything related to the Arizona Cardinals, the latest rumors that are circulating, teams trying to move up inside the top 10, a team maybe trying to get inside the top 3, just a frantic, crazy, chaotic day for us here on the program, and we will keep you up to date on everything around the NFL draft. We'll make our predictions. For those of you who are interested, both Evan and I posted our 1 through 32 predictive mock drafts on the KDUS AM 1060 Twitter account, so those are over there for you all. So hopefully everybody's excited, and we are excited for the Thursday edition of this program, the draft edition of the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060, streaming on the app and always on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. There was a baseball game last night, and that's where we'll start today's program.
Time for our top story of the day. It's the Daily Special.
Now, I say that we're going to start with this, but I may need a little bit of help in breaking down what exactly happened last night. I got done here at the office, 4:30, 5 o'clock. Knew that the game started at 6:40. Said to myself, this is perfect. I'll go do some grocery shopping. I'll make my Costco run. I knew it was draft night tonight. I got a playoff softball game to coach later today. It's not a lot of time. So I knew Wednesday, game doesn't start till 6:40. This is my time to go shopping. So I went, did my shopping, got in the car, listened to the first 2 innings on radio, and I got home. I found out that my internet was down. It had been down all day yesterday. And I got a text message from my internet provider. I'm not going to throw them directly under the bus, but said internet provider told me, hey, there's an outage in your area. We expect it to be corrected tomorrow at 11 a.m. All right. Not really sure how this is going to work. Have some baseball to watch, have some draft prep to finish up on, but all right, 11 a.m., I'll see you there. So I'm hanging out in the house. I'm trying to follow the game any way I can, keeping tabs on it. Saw Eduardo Rodriguez get off to a good start, listen to Corbin Carroll hit a leadoff home run. Then those middle innings, they all just went sideways for me. So then the internet came back magically, just appeared. I would say the 8th inning, it came back. So I was able to sit down, watch the 8th inning, watch the 9th inning, watch extra innings, and I watched the conclusion of this game. Now, in a funny twist, I don't know how funny it is, I woke up this morning and the internet is down again. And I am getting constant text updates from my internet service provider apologizing for the inconvenience and that they are still working on the issue. What happened to where the issue was fixed last night and now you undid it? Whatever you did, just redo that part, please. Whatever button you pressed, unpress it. Whatever wire you unplugged, plug that wire back in, please, because my internet was working fine for the last couple of innings of the baseball game last night. Woke up this morning, nothing, no dice. Also, what could cause an internet in 2025? I asked the question, what can cause an internet outage that lasts overnight? I mean, I got this text yesterday at like 3:30 that the internet was down. It is 11:06, still dealing with this the next day. We're nearly 24 hours in. It's 2025. These problems should be fixed very quickly. So didn't get to see the middle part, was following the bullpen melting down for the Arizona Diamondbacks. But I did see with my own two eyes in the latter stages of that game, Justin Martinez pitching. And out of all the guys that threw yesterday for the Arizona Diamondbacks, he had the best day out. He had the best appearance out of any of the bullpen arms. And so I don't want to say that we're in the rearview mirror on this because fatigue is a weird thing that can come and go. I think it's encouraging that I don't have to start today's program wondering if Justin Martinez is still banged up, if they're lying or if they're not telling us the full truth and it is more than just fatigue. I'm glad that we can remove that from the equation. And it was good to see him back last night because you saw in just that one inning of work how important he can be to this team. The difference having him and that stuff, 100, 101 plus out there in the bullpen in the 8th, 9th into extra innings, how important having a guy like that out there is. You saw it firsthand last night, what the Diamondbacks have been missing since a week ago today, which was the last time that Justin Martinez had gotten into a game before throwing last night and keeping the game right where it was. But the bullpen, the story for the Diamondbacks, it continues to be a sore spot. It continues to be a topic of conversation. They're down A.J. Puck. Still don't know how long he's going to be out for. At least they got Justin Martinez back. Shelby Miller got hit hard last night. Dre Jameson got hit hard, giving up the 2 runs in the 11th inning that allowed the Rays to win the game. So the bullpen continues to be the question mark. Needing to get guys into some more refined roles, needing to find some stability out there. And that's really the word of the day when it comes to the Diamondbacks bullpen. They don't have stability. Haven't had Justin Martinez since last Thursday. A.J. Puck last pitched last Thursday, then was shut down, then got put on the injured list. They last Friday, after that game went sideways on them, made 2 roster moves, 3 roster moves if you include putting A.J. Puck on the injured list, but an additional 2 roster moves to bring 2 additional arms to the big league level. So there's just been a lot of instability, a lot of new faces, and the job that puts onto Torey Lovello of, okay, I don't have Joe Mantiply anymore. I don't have Bryce Jarvis anymore. I don't have A.J. Puck right now. I didn't have Justin Martinez until last night. Who's my closer if a game is close? Who's my setup man in the 7th inning? Who's my setup man in the 8th inning? And if I'm going to move somebody like a Shelby Miller or a Jalen Beeks into one of those 3 roles, who takes over their roles? And while Torey is constantly getting updated on how guys are performing in the minor leagues, he's constantly getting reports on how best to utilize guys. This is an information era. In front of his fingertips at any moment, he can have whatever piece of data and information he would require to make a decision. He can have it. There's entire departments of people, systems, programs, evaluators that are putting all of this information together for these teams on a regular basis. But he called up a bunch of guys, Feyereisen, Murillo, Jameson. You have 3 guys who are new. Now, he knows Dre Jameson, but the other 2 guys, relatively new to the team, get called up. What role are they best suited for? Is this a guy that I can give some high leverage situations? Can I get this guy in the 7th, 8th inning of a close game? Or do I have to use these guys in my low leverage spots where I was using Shelby Miller, where I was using Jalen Beeks? How do you structure it? That's all stuff that Torey Lovello has to work through in real time while also playing baseball games that matter, while trying to keep pace with the Dodgers, the Padres, the Giants, who have not run away and hid lately. They haven't been playing their best baseball. The Cubs have been taking it to the Dodgers over the last couple of days. What is going on with Chicago and Pete Crow Armstrong? And every game I look up, the Cubs are winning like 11-10. I don't know what's going on early season in Chicago, but it seems to be a lot of fun when you're not on the other side of the result. It seems like they're having a blast. Okay, love it. I can't confirm that statistic, but I wouldn't be surprised. Every 4 seconds on social media, I see a PCA clip. And so the Dodgers haven't run away with things. The Padres and Giants haven't run away with things. So you're holding serve. You're staying close enough. And that's really important when you are dealing with this much uncertainty, this much instability with your bullpen. I think it'll get sorted out. Justin Martinez being back does a lot of the heavy lifting, because now you roll up to the ballpark and the assumption is that's my 9th inning guy. That's my closer. That's the guy that's going to get the last 3 outs. If I get 6 innings from my starter, that's 18. Plus what Justin Martinez can give me 21. I've got to find 6 more outs from the rest of my guys. It's a little bit of an easier lift for a manager trying to piece that together. And hopefully at some point, Kevin Ginkel comes back. He's starting a minor league rehab assignment this week. That's going to give him a trusted option. I mean, there's nothing a manager loves more than a bullpen arm that you can trust wholeheartedly. You don't even think twice. This is the guy that's coming into the game in this spot because he's been here forever. That's who Kevin Ginkel is for this team. So getting somebody that is reliable, that is trustworthy, that a manager can lean on a little bit, that is something that this bullpen is sorely missing, especially with all of the changes that they have gone under the last week or so. Now, they lost the game last night because their bullpen gave it up. They couldn't come through in the bottom of the, to me, I know people are going to look at the bottom of the 11th as where the game went sideways, right? That you give up the 2 runs and then you put all that base traffic out there and you don't tie the game, but you got to win the game in the bottom of the 10th. That's really where this game goes sideways, because I know it's 4, 5, 6 in the order. And I know those guys have been struggling. Suarez has been struggling. Trust me, we've been paying you know what? Is this the time? Producer Evan, is this where we do this? Since I invoked, I said Eugenio Suarez's name, and so we worked on this production yesterday. We played this yesterday. Anytime we talked about Jordan Lawler and Eugenio Suarez, but I thought we would take it a step further, and we got a little production quality to the program. And since I invoked Eugenio Suarez, and since I said Jordan Lawler, I guess we should debut Lawler Watch.
In the professional baseball system, there are 2 separate but important groups: the veteran third baseman who is trying to hold on, and the young top prospect who is breaking down the door. This is Lawler Watch.
So last night, not a great night for Eugenio Suarez in our first edition of Lawler Watch. Now, the results for Reno were not great. They got blown out last night. But you know who contributed in a big way? Jordan Lawler. He just continues to hit the cover off the ball down in the PCL, down in Reno. He is putting up some incredible numbers. Now, I don't know if this issue is going to get forced here over the next couple of weeks. I think the Diamondbacks are a very patient organization. And so Lawler Watch, I think, is going to continue to grow and grow and grow over the next couple of weeks. But at some point, they're not going to be able to ignore this. And last night, the bottom of the 10th, it was Naylor, it was Gurriel, it was Suarez. They weren't able to come through there in the 10th inning to put that run across to win the game right there. You go to the 11th. You're running out of bullpen options in general if you're the Diamondbacks because you've emptied the tank. The Rays score 2. You're unable to do anything in the bottom part of the 11th, and you lose this game. And now you'll turn things over to Corbin Burns to try to salvage the series win here tonight. Now, this is rare. People always ask what's getting the main screen tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It's the NFL draft. The NFL draft gets the main screen. The Diamondbacks. Now, I don't want this the Suns got the tablet treatment a lot in the second half of the season. I just want to make things very clear for everybody. Just because the Diamondbacks are getting the tablet treatment does not mean I respect them as little as I respected the Phoenix Suns in the second half of the season. That is not what I am saying at all. It's the NFL draft, and so that's going to get main billing. Now, if the game's close and the Cardinals have made their pick already, then I may do a trade. I may flip it back when I get home to the Diamondbacks on the big screen, because the Diamondbacks start tonight at 6:40. Draft will be going for about an hour and 40 minutes. It's going to be right around that time where the Cardinals may be on the clock. So for a little bit, it's going to be draft, and then I think it'll switch back by the time I get home from our playoff softball game tonight. Not for me, for my daughter. I'm just a coach. I'm not playing. There will be no statistical breakdown of my performance. But we've got that. I've got that later on tonight. So I got Diamondbacks I got to keep an eye on. I got the draft I got to keep an eye on, and I got to manage a playoff softball game tonight. So very busy evening for me tonight. And oh, by the way, I may be doing so without internet because I don't know if the internet is fixed at home. Oh, for sure. They're gonna see me looking down at my phone every 2 seconds, and they're gonna be like, "Why did you send that runner in that spot?" Listen, the post-game press conference may be interesting. I may get questions about being distracted. Now, if we win, I may not get those questions. We may be okay. I want to hear from you today. One of the best sports days of the year, a top 5 sports day for me. The 2025 NFL draft, the NFL draft in general, is upon us. I want to hear from you on a day like today. 480-864-1060. 480-864-1060 is the phone number if you want to talk to producer Evan, and then he determines whether or not you get on the air and you're able to talk to us. You can also join us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream and watch the show and chat over there as we get ready for the 2025 NFL draft. And speaking of the NFL draft, there was a late surprise that dropped yesterday. It was courtesy of Daniel Jeremiah's latest mock draft. What was that surprise, and do we believe it? That's next, the lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
Hey listeners, Vince Delisio here. This week is JUCO Sports Week. Saturday morning, we are live from Phoenix College's Hoy Stadium, where the Hohokam Junior College Athletic Conference is hosting fall tryouts. We kick off our broadcast at 8 a.m. on Live 365, then move to AM 1060 at 9. You'll hear from football coaches from the Mustangs, Scorpions, Sidewinders, Pumas, and Hawks. It's the Varsity Sports Show, Saturday morning at 8 on Live 365, then from 9 to 11 a.m. on AM 1060, KDUS, Arizona.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why? It's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. T&Cs apply.
As the old saying goes, size matters.
At Morgan & Morgan, we have over 1,000 lawyers and nearly 6,000 people on staff.
But at the core, this is and always has been a family business.
Our family watching out for your family.
Call us or email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on a Saturday or a Sunday.
And if you ever have a problem, call our mom.
Morgan & Morgan.
For the people and your family.
Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
9 Inch Nails. Live at Footprint Center, September 16th. Get tickets now at NIN.com. 9 Inch Nails, live in Phoenix. Peel It Back World Tour 2025.
We're chatting with our guest, always safety first, 811 Megaphone Man.
Call 811 before you dig.
You never stray from your mission of letting homeowners, landscapers, and excavators know you should always call 811 before you dig.
Call 811.
Call for both small and big jobs. And 2 working days in advance?
811.
Any parting words? And I'm guessing they will be.
Call 811 before you dig.
Brought to you by Southwest Gas.
811.
Jim Rome here with your Rome Report.
Since I am LA adjacent, I've got to hit you with my thoughts on the Lake Show, which got off the mat and cracked Minnesota Tuesday night to even up their series at a game apiece. Laker guard Austin Reeves said it best, and I quote, "I think it just goes back to the other night when we basically got punked. They came in here in game one and they punked us." End of quote. Right. To which I would add, bullied and curb stomped as well. But there was a complete role reversal in game two. This time it was Minnesota who got punched in the mouth and didn't respond. Well, at least not soon enough. And when they finally did come with their run, Laker head coach J.J. Redick lit into his team during a timeout with F-bombs flying to get them back on path. Now we have a series. Oh, and one more thing. Luka Doncic, still not fat. I'm Jim Rome.
O'Reilly. Get one free set of Brake Best brake pads when you buy 2 Brake Best Select brake rotors. You can upgrade to Brake Best Select brake pads for just $10 more, or upgrade to Brake Best Select Pro or Import Direct pads for just $20 more. Visit your local O'Reilly Auto Parts. Offer in store only. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Spring into deals with fresh savings at Lowe's. Right now, get 4 Stay Green or Premium 2 cubic foot mulch bags for just $10. Plus, get up to 35% off select major appliances and save $50 on every $500 you spend on select LG appliances. Shop in-store or online today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 4/30. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See associate at Lowe's.com for more details of qualifying items. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Just a few short hours away from the 2025 NFL Draft. And finally getting our answers as to what the Cardinals are going to do with the 16th overall pick. And I will tell you, you wake up on a day like today, and even though you know it's smoke screen season, even though you know there's chaos everywhere, I know for me, since I think we've classified ourselves on this program when it comes to the NFL Draft, I'm a huge nerd. We're nerds, okay? This is what we live for. We live for days like this. I can't get enough mock draft content today. I can't get enough this team's thinking about doing this, even though we haven't heard about it the entire time. Jacksonville being a wild card in all of this over the last couple of days. I am here for it all. You can't fill up my plate enough with draft stuff today. During the break, I'm looking at other people's mock drafts. I'm just searching mock draft on Twitter, and I'm just seeing somebody with a bunch of numbers at the end of their Twitter handle put together a mock draft. I don't care. I want it all today. Fill up the plate. The leftovers today, literally and figuratively, draft coverage. Give it to me on a plate for the next 90 minutes of this program, and then all the way up until the draft tonight. Now, that being said, we have to calm ourselves down. We have to temper what we overreact to. But I saw something yesterday that made me raise an eyebrow. And that is because Daniel Jeremiah released his 4.0 mock draft last night. He did so at around 6 o'clock. He has some trades. He has Shedeur Sanders going to the Steelers. And I will tell you, if there is one word that I would use to describe Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft, is weird. This draft is weird. And it is weird because there are things on this mock draft that I haven't seen anywhere else. And DJ is tapped in. He's talking to teams. He's talking to personnel people around the league. These are informed decisions that he is making across the board. So when he has, for example, the Jags taking Ashton Genty in his opening sentences, based on everything I've heard from talking to people around the league, the expectation is the Jaguars will pick either Genty or Arizona wide receiver Teteroa McMillian here. I'll go with the higher rated player on my board. You see things like that, and those things stand out to you. When you see Kelvin Banks Jr. go number 6 to the Raiders, that stuff stands out to you. You know what also stands out to me? If you scroll all the way down to pick number 16. And trust me, I'm not naive. I pay attention to what people in this market say. I know that there is somebody who does the same job I do, who sits behind a microphone, who has sworn up and down that they're not taking a wide receiver at 16. I've heard the same reports all of you have heard. I've heard it. I've listened. Wide receiver off the list. But when Daniel Jeremiah has the Cardinals going with a wide receiver, that's where one eyebrow raises. But where the other eyebrow raises is that it's not Matthew Golden. It's a name that I don't think we've discussed a mock on this program that has mocked this wide receiver to the Cardinals. Perhaps I'm wrong, but I don't remember us discussing a mock that had the Cardinals taking Emeka Egbuka, the wide receiver out of Ohio State, with the 16th overall pick. I don't remember having that conversation. Yet in his last mock draft, the night before the NFL draft, Daniel Jeremiah connects Egbuka to the Cardinals and says, quote, Arizona reunites Egbuka with Ohio State teammate Marvin Harrison Jr. to give Kyler Murray a dynamic tandem at receiver. Egbuka fills a need, and he can help bring the best out of Harrison, end quote. What are we supposed to do with this information? What are we supposed to do with, out of nowhere, a mock draft 24 hours away from the draft, giving us a new wide receiver when all I've heard is that wide receiver's off the table? What am I supposed to do with this information? Do you just throw it in the trash can and say that it's part of a smokescreen? Do you just say, no, that's not happening, and you move on? This is seemingly coming out of nowhere. It is a surprise. You could have very easily had Matthew Golden be the pick here. Golden was available when the Cardinals were on the clock. He could have very easily put Derek Harmon, Tyler Booker, Kenneth Grant, all of these guys. Jahdae Barron is there. Jahad Campbell, all of those guys go after the Cardinals pick at 16 in DJ's mock draft, yet he has a wide receiver that we haven't discussed going to the Cardinals. But it makes sense, the Ohio State connection with Harrison and with Paris Johnson, and we've seen the Cardinals lean into drafting from that school, and so I can see how you can connect the dots. But I wonder if this is just connecting dots where there are no dots to connect, and we should just cast this aside and continue to focus on the trenches, the offensive line, like Adam Schefter said yesterday, corner, like Adam Schefter said yesterday. I'm not truly sure what to do with this information. Yep. Yeah. And it could be a little thing like he's heard that they like him or that they were impressed with him at some point in the process. It could be a little piece of information that he's potentially using. It could be, I don't think it's this, but it could be as simple as he's doing the Ohio State thing where they've taken an Ohio State guy each of the last 2 seasons. I don't think DJ is just using that as a justification. But listen, everybody on this program knows. You're listening on the app. You're listening on KDUS AM 1060. You're watching on the YouTube stream. I have campaigned for a wide receiver. And I know that that's probably not going to happen based on some of the reporting that's out there in the Cardinals draft space. But that doesn't mean I'm going to back off of what I want to see this team do. I want to see this team take another wide receiver. I think they need to get another wide receiver. And I don't know who's going to be available for them on day 2. And so I would somewhat press the issue a little bit and take somebody like a Matthew Golden. I would take a receiver in the first round. It doesn't mean that you're saying Marvin Harrison Jr. is bad. You were never one wide receiver away when you took Marvin Harrison Jr. with the 4th overall pick last year. So whether or not you take a receiver in the first round or the second round, aren't you saying that you need to add to this room? We all know they need to add to this room. We all know that they need another target for Kyler Murray to go to. So I am unwavering in my want for the Cardinals to early on in this draft, whether it is tonight, whether it is tomorrow, to land a wide receiver. And if they are able to surprise me and take a receiver on day 2 that's a good fit and can help this team right away, more power to them for playing the board and understanding the board well. I just don't know if that's going to be the case. I'm just not sure. But guess what? The beautiful thing about all of this conversation that we've had over the last couple of weeks and months, it all comes to an end tonight. Tonight, we'll know what wide receivers are on the board when day 2 starts. We'll know if a Matthew Golden slips out of the first round, if Emeka Ekbuka falls out of the first round, if Kyle Williams is a name that's been thrown out there for the Cardinals, the Washington State kid, if he's available. Where does he go early on day 2? We will have these answers soon enough. But the eyebrow was raised last night when one of the more popular, well-informed people in this space threw us a bit of a curveball last night. Could mean something, could mean absolutely nothing. Could be a little breadcrumb that we should follow, and when it happens tonight, we'll be like, DJ was on it. Or it means absolutely nothing, and the Cardinals will go in a different direction. But it was food for thought when I saw it last night, because you and I texted each other, and I said to producer Evan, this is weird. Like this entire mock is really, really weird. No, there's yeah. Yeah, and again, it's just one guy, and it's at the last minute, it's 24 hours from the draft, so you don't know. But boy, did it make me stop and question some things last night when reading it. We will keep you up to date on everything with the NFL draft. We're going to give our predictions at the top of hour number 2, the 5 guys that we think could get there and the Cardinals could take in the first round, putting all of this information together. We're going to play a little draft tank in hour number 2. Producer Evan is working on grabbing 10 mock drafts with a bunch of different scenarios, and he's just going to present them to me and ask me if I would want the Cardinals to do what those mock drafts suggest. We're doing that in hour number 2 of the program. We've got you all day long here, keeping you up to speed on everything going on with the 2025 NFL Draft. 480-864-1060 is the phone number. You can also join us on the YouTube live stream and chat over there as well. But when we come back, are the Suns looking to land the biggest fish possible for their front office? That's next, the lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
James Out West, your home for sports down here in the desert. Join James and Pat the Stat Guy as they recap the weekend and dive deep into the numbers for the NFL, NBA, college sports, and more.
That's 5 seasons of 1,200 yards.
Player stats, team numbers, and contracts are just the start of the discussion for James and Pat.
He started 815 career games. He threw 749 complete games.
There's no hiding when it comes to stats. It's James Out West every Monday night from 7 to 8 p.m. right here on KTUS AM 1060 and on the KTUS 1060 app.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Chocolate lovers are going absolutely bananas over our new Bluebell Banana Fudge. Rich milk chocolate ice cream swirled with a scrumptious banana-flavored ice cream. Your favorite banana fudge bar, now in a carton.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at all bashes and select AJ's Fine Foods.
As a business owner, you wear a lot of hats. One minute you're ordering today's inventory, and the next you're planning tomorrow's expansion. It's complicated, but your business credit card should be simple. With the Signify Business Cash Card by Wells Fargo, you earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases for your business with no caps or categories to track. Signify Business Cash, the deliberately simple business credit card. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/signify. Terms apply.
Pierce the Veil. I Can't Hear You World Tour 2025. Pierce the Veil, live in concert in Phoenix. With Sleeping with Sirens and Beach Weather. Live at Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater, June 15th. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Part of the America First Credit Union Concert Series.
You wanted to see me, Ron?
Yeah. See that woman sitting there? When did we hire her?
Oh, we didn't hire her. It's Take Your Mom to Work Day.
I've never heard of that.
Saw it on the internet.
Oh, boy.
Hey, guys. It's neat that Gary has a mom and all, but shouldn't we be talking about Alaska vacations?
That's why I brought Mom in.
I'm sure she's a lovely lady, but she can't promise a 1-year no breakdown guarantee the way Alaskan AC does.
Nope.
And she doesn't promise lower energy bills the way Alaskan AC does.
Nope.
And she doesn't make sure people's air conditioner lasts longer than average, the way Alaskan AC does.
Nope. But she sings.
If you want your AC to last all summer long, with an Alaska vacation, it will always blow strong.
Wow.
Double wow.
Thanks, Mom.
Anything for the president of the company. How long have you two boys worked for Gary?
Gary!
Hey, gotta go. Promise to take Mom to lunch. Bye.
If you want your AC to last all summer long, with an Alaska vacation, it will always blow strong.
Schedule now at alaskanac.com.
Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Could the Suns be trying to take a big swing with a front office addition? And we know from some great reporting from Dwayne Rankin of the Arizona Republic that the Suns plan to add to their front office this offseason. What that means, what role somebody is put into, how that impacts James Jones's future, all of those questions, it's kind of murky. Still up in the air what the ramifications of that person being brought in are. We'll have to see what title they get when they get hired and what they do with James Jones's contract, which is up at the end of June. But perhaps this latest rumor, this latest report can clarify things a little bit, because according to Mark Stein and the Stein Line newsletter, the Phoenix Suns reportedly have, quote, strong interest, end quote, in former Golden State Warriors executive Bob Myers. The pursuit of Myers is being called a, quote, dream target, end quote, for Phoenix. That is what Mark Stein is reporting yesterday. It's been followed up by a couple of different people in saying that, yes, the Suns are interested. And so this at least gives us a first glimpse at what Matt Ishbia may be trying to do in changing up the front office. This is a big name. This is a big swing. Bob Myers, Golden State, all those championships, all that success. And I don't want to be the guy that says, oh, he wasn't there when they drafted Steph. And we're not doing that. You just look at a resume of a guy who has been there, who has reached the mountaintop, has built a championship team, and has had the highest levels of success and is a big-time name in this space. Here is what concerns me about this. My immediate gut reaction to seeing this news yesterday is, boy, does this feel like trying to win the press conference. Boy, does this feel like making a big splash just to say you made a big splash. Because Bob Myers has a really nice job right now working for ESPN. Gets paid a lot of money. Doesn't have to worry about personnel decisions. Doesn't have to worry about scouting. Doesn't have to worry about relationships with other GMs and making trades. Just gets to show up, does a lot of prep work, obviously, but gets to talk about basketball, gets to be on these pregame shows, gets to call a couple games on a broadcast, gets a really nice, cozy job working for ESPN, getting paid a lot of money. So if he is going to venture away from that career and is going to step back into the ring, is going to step back into the fight of trying to compete with 29 other GMs, 29 other front offices in the pursuit of winning an NBA championship, it's got to be worth his while. It's going to be a stupid amount of money, an insane amount of money to lure Bob Myers away from his current job at ESPN. 2-time NBA Executive of the Year, 4-time NBA champion. He has the resume. But can you offer him enough money? And can you offer him the right vision to take over? Because if I'm Bob Myers and I've got my nice job at ESPN, I am only taking on this job. I am only agreeing to be the president of basketball operations, the chief basketball officer, whatever title I'm going to get. I am only doing that if I can do this my way. If I can have a say. If I have full control. Sorry, James. Sorry, Josh. I'm in charge. I'm the person making the decisions. Is Bob Myers going to want to trade Kevin Durant? A guy who he had in Golden State, a guy who he has a great relationship with? Because if you're going to give Bob Myers full control and Bob Myers wants to keep Kevin Durant, no thank you. I'm good. You can stay at ESPN, Bob. I don't care that you're a 2-time NBA Executive of the Year. I don't care that you have won 4 championships. I will say this until I am blue in the face. Next season for the Phoenix Suns has to be without Bradley Beal, and it has to be without Kevin Durant. And I know that's harsh. It's unfair to KD because he's played well during his time here in Phoenix. But you can't talk about change, and you can't talk about having a different identity and just running it back with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. I'm sorry, you can't do that. This offseason has to conclude with Bradley Beal being gone in whatever way that looks and with Kevin Durant being traded so that you can try to make this a painless 2 or 3 year process instead of it being a painful half-decade or more progress. So if Bob Myers wants full control and part of that full control is keeping Kevin Durant, then I'm not interested in Bob Myers. I'm not interested in bringing an executive of his caliber. But it certainly feels like Matt Ishbia wants Bob Myers and he wants to bring him in because it would be a big splash. It's a big name. This is a big executive in the NBA spaces that everybody probably would want to run their basketball organization. And Matt Ishbia can say, I got him. I gave him the control. I gave him the payday. He's going to fix this team. Now, if Bob Myers wants to come in here and have full control and he is aligned with the vision that Matt Ishbia has, and he's okay with Kevin Durant leaving, and he's okay with that new identity that this team's going to try to find, I'm all for bringing in somebody that has his resume. That resume is valuable. But there is a certain expectation for this offseason, at least for me. And it has to be a complete reset of this roster. It just has to. Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant cannot be on this roster next season. You would basically be running it back. You would have put a new coat of paint with a new coach and a new executive. But if you run it back with Kevin Durant and you keep Devin Booker, what have you really changed other than getting rid of Bradley Beal? You won't be able to make a meaningful roster addition to help you bridge the gap to your next chapter. In fact, it wouldn't be a next chapter. You would just be continuing the last chapter in the hopes that a smarter executive, a executive that is more aligned with this new vision, and a better coach is enough to fix this. It's not. You would be convincing yourself that what you did in the past was correct. And we know that that's not true. We know that what you did in the past was a mistake. And if you want us to believe you when you said that you're taking accountability, that you're going to make changes, that it's going to be different, hiring Bob Myers and just running it back is not the way that is supposed to go. Now, maybe Bob Myers is interested in the job and is interested and aligns with that vision and understand that's the best way to do that is to trade Kevin Durant. Perhaps Bob Myers thinks that. I'm just incredibly skeptical that the executive who brought KD to Golden State and who has maintained a decent relationship with him isn't going to try to at least attempt at the beginning to find a way to keep him. And I'm sorry, that's just not how this offseason needs to go for this team. They need to hit the reset button. And if they did this, it would make me incredibly concerned that Matt Ishbia is just trying to win the press conference to make that big splash. And I would wonder if anything has been learned about the failings of the past. Because you talked about making front office changes. We know there's going to be an addition. This is not just an addition. This is a complete overhaul of your department because Bob Myers is going to come in there and he's going to oversee everything. James Jones is going to report to him. I mean, it's not going to be a collaborative process. And so I just don't know if that's the path I want to go down. Maybe I'll be proven wrong if they do hire him and he is open to this vision, but just on the surface, this just doesn't seem like the right fit for the Phoenix Suns. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us. You can also hop in over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. When we come back, 6 of their 9 hits last night came from this spot. That group tried to get a rally going in the 11th as the bottom of the lineup turned a corner for the Arizona Diamondbacks. That's next on the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KDUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
Take advantage of thousands of dollars in SRP rebates and discounts on energy-efficient home upgrades like new air conditioning units, windows, ducts, and insulation. Save money on your energy bill while also making your home more comfortable. SRP's network of participating contractors can guide you from start to finish and maximize your savings by combining Inflation Reduction Act incentives with SRP rebates. Learn more at savewithsrp.com.
Judas Priest and Alice Cooper.
No more, Mr. Nice Guy.
The Metal Gods, Judas Priest. The godfather of shock rock, Alice Cooper. October 22nd, Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater with special guest, Corrosion of Conformity. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Presented by 100.7 KSLX, part of the America First Credit Union Concert Series.
Life's better with American Family Insurance. Because whether it's a family road trip in your dream car or hosting a family reunion in your dream home, we help you feel protected so you can enjoy those dreams with peace of mind. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
In one corner, a tasty sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddles. That sweet griddle cakes and savory sausage powerhouse. In the other corner, a warm sausage McMuffin with egg, toasted to perfection and stacked with melty goodness. 2 breakfast icons ready to battle it out for your taste buds. Except, why choose? Get both when you mix and match 2 for $5 at McDonald's. Yeah, that's the move for the win. And don't forget to order ahead in the app. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal. Single item at regular price.
Early weekend ASU baseball action here on KDUS AM 1060. Join the Sun Devils as they play host against BYU starting this Thursday evening. The voice of the Sun Devils, Tim Healy and Max Rosser, will have the call live from Phoenix Municipal Stadium. It's the opening match between ASU and BYU this Thursday. Pre-game coverage starts at 6:15 p.m. with first pitch at 6:30 right here on KDUS AM 1060 and online at KDUS1060.com/Sun Devils.
The Diamondbacks will be back in action tonight with Corbin Burns on the bump. We'll get into that a little bit in hour number 2 of the program. But last night, it was a 7-6 loss for the Diamondbacks, falling in extra innings to the Tampa Bay Rays. And what I think is so frustrating about last night's game, at least for me, is not necessarily what happened in the 11th inning, but what happened in the 10th after not allowing a run to cross. As the road team in extra innings, you've got to score 2. It's just it's a requirement. 1 is not enough because when the home team gets up in the bottom part of the inning, they have the tying run in scoring position with nobody out. 2 sac flies and the game is tied. You need to score that second run to put the extra pressure on the home team. It makes it even harder when you, as the road team, don't score at all in the top of the 10th. So the Diamondbacks have to be feeling good, right? The top of the 10th, Murillo has a quick inning, gets a strikeout, and then a double play. Doubles off the lead runner at second base on just a boneheaded base running play. Not sure what was happening there. And you're thinking to yourself, man, the Diamondbacks, they've got this game in the bag. Tampa doesn't score. We got great bullpen in the 9th and the 10th, and we are going to have some speed on the base pass. They had Barroso out there as the extra runner, and they're unable to get that run in. Naylor, Gurriel Jr., Suarez all fly out. They can't get that run in, and we go to an 11th inning. That's where this game was lost last night, in the bottom of the 10th. Now, the bullpen set it up with the disaster that they were throughout the game. But the 10th inning, the game's on a silver platter for you. Tampa doesn't score. You bunt the guy over to third base. I mean, I know you want to let Naylor have a chance to put one in the gap or to just not get a base hit to win the game. So you're obviously not going to ask Naylor to bunt. But, man, just get the guy over. Get him over twice. And you score a run, you win the game. You don't even have to get a hit.
It's not even bunt. It's just hit the ball to the right side.
Yeah, just some timely hitting. Just put the ball in the right spot, advance that runner 2 times, and call it a day. And so when you don't do that and you go to the 11th, your bullpen's kind of tapped as it is. That's what happens in the top of the 11th, 2-run score. And then in the bottom of the 11th, here's what was really impressive to me, because you're seeing who's coming up for this team, and you're wondering aloud to yourself, man, is the bottom of the lineup really going to be able to do this? Is the bottom of the lineup, which we've been critical of. We've said that this is a 4-person offense right now, 5 through 9. Is anybody going to step up? Gurriel, Suarez, Gabby Moreno, Alec. Is anybody going to step up 5 through 9 in the lineup? And fair enough, the bottom part of the lineup did its job. Thomas reaches on, they're calling this an infield single. I think this is, I don't know if he beats it out, but okay. He beats it out. The ball gets by. Thomas goes to second. Suarez scores. And so now it's 7-6, and you basically just swap places. You put a guy on second base. There's still nobody out. It's a 1-run game. It's as if you didn't give up 2 runs in the top part. Tying this game should be easy at this point. Tim Tawa draws an excellent walk, 7-pitch walk, okay? So now you've got runners at first and second. Gabby Moreno lines out. We move the runner over. It is first and third. First and third, 1 out. I just need a ball deep enough to score the tying run, and we're playing at least the 12th inning. And now I've turned it over to the top part of the lineup. I've turned it over to Carroll. I've turned it over to Perdomo. Carroll draws a walk. Now I've got the bases loaded for Perdomo, and what happens? He grounds into a game-ending double play. They're not able to hit the ball deep enough to be able to get that run in. The bottom of the lineup did its job. We've been asking for them to contribute. We've been asking for them to come through in a big moment. Thomas, Tawa, Moreno even, because he got the runner over, exactly what we asked you to do. All of those guys contributed in the bottom part of the lineup. 6 of the 9 hits that the Diamondbacks had in this game last night came from 5 through 9 in the lineup. You had Gurriel with a hit, Suarez with a hit, Alec Thomas with 2 hits, Tim Tawa with 2 hits. You got a lot of production from the bottom part of the lineup. It was the top part that couldn't come through in the 11th. Just makes you want to rip your hair out. That makes you want to rip your hair out in the 11th, having Carroll, having Perdomo up and not coming through. But what really wants to make you rip your hair out is that 10th inning where you have a guy on second base, you didn't allow a run in the top half, and you were unable to get a run across. Now, this part of the game I was able to see. This part of the game the TV was working for, the internet was working for. So that's why I want to rip my hair out, because this is the part of the game I tuned into.
I think the other one that I always circle too is, we talked about the shutdown inning. I think it was either earlier this week or last week. They came out, the D-backs, took the lead in the bottom of the 7th on a 2-run homer by Carroll, and then immediately coughed up the 1-run lead.
Happened twice in the game.
Happened twice.
Carroll hits the home run to start the game. They take a 1-0 lead. Immediately, Tampa gets 2 in the top of the 2nd. Now, the Diamondbacks responded to tie the game, but 2 times in this game, what a great point by you, that the Diamondbacks are able to put runs on the board, and Tampa immediately responds. You have to have that shutdown inning after that. I mean, how different does this game potentially play out if after the first inning where Carroll gives them the lead with the home run, if Eduardo Rodriguez shuts them down in the top part of the inning? Perhaps the game's different. Perhaps. I don't know. But if you don't have that shutdown inning to keep the momentum rolling and you allow Tampa or any team to come right back into the game like that, to respond immediately, you're feeling good. Corbin Carroll hits another home run. He's up to 9 for the season. It's been awesome. And then you just immediately give it back. It's just, it is painful to watch sometimes when your team has a great moment like that to take the lead or to tie a game, and then immediately they just give it right back.
I mean, Thompson came in the 8th and gave up double, single, and all this. Like, it felt like it was 6 pitches and the game was tied again.
So you want to check the math? Let's check the math. This is the 8th inning of the game where they had Thompson in. So it was 2 pitches for the double. It was 4 pitches for the infield single. It was 3 pitches for the single that tied the game.
So 9.
So 9 pitches, the game was tied. Yeah, I mean, that's the bullpen it was a story last night. It is going to continue to be a story until they get guys into settled roles. It just is. Justin Martinez being back last night, that was awesome. It was great to see him in the 9th inning. We can, at least for the moment, not worry about fatigue. Got to keep an eye on it. I don't expect, after just coming back from fatigue, for Justin Martinez to be available tonight, but maybe we'll see. Maybe I'll be surprised by the way J Mart responds to being in the game last night. But until they have these settled roles, until they have guys that they know they can trust in the 7th, that they can trust in the 8th, that if they can trust in these spots, and they've done so much reordering of this bullpen over the last week or so, they just don't have that. Not everybody's comfortable, I think, is the way that I would describe it. Not everybody is comfortable. Always want to hear from you on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. John over there says, how about if the Rays score more than 1 when they had the bases loaded? That could have changed the game. Yeah, you can pick these heartbeats throughout the course of the game, these moments where the game is different if a result goes a different way. But the story for the Diamondbacks, how great Corbin Carroll is, a 2-home run game from him. The bullpen is still a big question mark, and how the Diamondbacks, I think this game is lost when you can't come through in the bottom of the 10th. You should win 100 out of 100 extra inning games when in the top of the 10th, as the home team, the road team doesn't score. When you shut down the road team in extra innings and they don't get the free runner, the Manfred man home from second base, if they don't take a lead and you shut them down 100 out of 100 times, you should win that baseball game. Because I am very anti-bunting as it is. I don't like the idea of giving away free outs.
The free out.
I don't
say thank you. Throw it to first.
I don't like that. It's just it is counter to everything I believe about the game of baseball and how you want to score the most runs possible. But the idea is, the reason why you don't bunt is you want to keep a run scoring opportunity in front of you, because the more runs you score, it's going to allow you to win more games. In that spot in the bottom of the 10th, and again, I'm not saying they should have bunted with Naylor. He's one of your best hitters. You let him hit in that spot. But the reason why you can put on the bunt in the bottom of the 10th is, I only need 1 run to win this baseball game. I know that. You don't bunt in the 3rd, 4th, or 5th inning because I don't know how many runs I'm going to need. In the bottom of the 10th, I know I need 1 run to win this baseball game. That is it. I don't need to hit a 3-run home run. I need 1 run. So that's where you can entertain playing some small ball to try to move the runner over. But you got to trust Josh Naylor in that spot. Give him an opportunity to try to drive the ball. It just didn't work. But those are the guys that are supposed to be able to come through 4, 5, and 6, and they just didn't. And then the bottom of the 11th, you have a bit of a rally. The bottom of the lineup starts that rally, and you're unable to come through. It's just a bunch of errors in the game. The bullpen wasn't very good, and then not coming through in the bottom of the 10th, and then the bottom of the 11th, the top of the order, betrays you with Perdomo grounding into that double play. And the Diamondbacks lose the second game of this series. And I think we're going to have this roller coaster ride until this bullpen settles into roles, until Kevin Ginkel is back, until we know how long A.J. Puck is going to be out for, until we know that Justin Martinez has this fatigue stuff in his rearview mirror, until we get those settled roles. I think every night could be in for an adventure, unless somebody else breaks out and makes it easy for Troy Lavello. I just don't know if that's going to be the case. Hour number 1 of the program in the books. Hour number 2, we are another hour closer to the NFL draft. We will start hour number 2 by giving you our draft predictions, the 5 guys we think the Cardinals could take in the first round. That's next. The lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Let me ask you a question. What's worse? A lawyer throwing on a leather jacket to try to convince people that he rides, or a lawyer standing up saying he fights for the motorcycle community when he's never gone to court for them once? Hi, I'm Mark Breyer.
And I'm Alexis Breyer. We're the husband and wife law team. And everybody in the motorcycle community knows the husband and wife law team for decades has been promoting motorcycle safety. And we show up in court to fight for you. Call the husband and wife law team first.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help that often requires only simple maintenance. However, if left untreated, could lead to costly repairs. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello from A1 Garage Door Service. Don't wait until a simple garage door repair becomes a major problem. If your garage door is noisy, if bugs are getting in, or if it struggles to open, your garage door is in need of repair. From simple repairs to upgrades, it's A1 from day one. We fix garage doors fast and with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. Our springs, rollers, and openers are tested by running them up and down, open and closed all day, 24/7, so you can feel confident with every A1 garage door repair. Replacing the bottom rubber on your garage door can have a huge impact on the number of bugs you see in your garage and in your home. Keep those creepy crawlers outside by calling A1 Garage Door Service today and receive the best service, best parts, and best warranty in the industry.
A1Garage.com. A1 from day one.
Call today and take advantage of our $29.95 tune-up special.
Stevie Nicks. One special night, October 7th, PHX Arena.
Would you love to love her? I will.
Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Don't miss Stevie Nicks live at PHX Arena.
At Shane Company, we know getting engaged is a big decision. But once you know, you know. That's the way our customers feel when they choose a Shane Company engagement ring. They walk into a warm welcome and walk out with their dream ring, knowing they got it right. For almost 100 years, we've been offering personalized shopping experiences. And we're in it way past the honeymoon, with a free lifetime warranty that includes the center stone, cleanings, repairs, and resizing for life. Shop with us at shaneco.com or at your neighborhood store. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
A family called us recently after being told they had no case.
But we found evidence many others had missed and helped them win the largest car crash verdict in Arizona that year. Hiring the wrong lawyer can cost you everything.
Call the husband and wife law team first.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Less than 5 hours away from the 2025 NFL Draft. That's it. Less than 5 hours until we finally see players' names come off the board. And I will tell you, since we are inside of 5 hours, I officially have a major concern. I have to coach a playoff softball game tonight. That's not the concern. The concern is when I get home, because I just got another email from my internet service provider. Our repairs are running long. You don't say that your repairs are running long. You've been working on this since the middle of the afternoon yesterday. What could 480-864-1060, or you can type it in the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. What could possibly have happened where internet is out for nearly 24 hours? What could somebody have possibly done? Did somebody flip a switch? Then just turn the switch back. A button was improperly pressed. Just undo it. Command Z, undo. I think, is that Command Z, undo?
Command Z.
Command Z, undo. Just undo what you've done. How am I nearly 24 hours in to an internet outage in the year 2025? That's now, see, this is where yesterday was fine. I was able to manage. I was able to keep track of the Diamondbacks game. Fine. You're going to take the draft from me tonight, and I'm not going to be happy.
I mean, that would be all time.
You take away the 2025 NFL draft from me because of this internet problem, I may switch providers. I just switched. We are going to have some of those tough conversations. Exactly, because you know what? The drop board just comes in handy. This is me to my internet provider. You're supposed to be better prepared. You're supposed to be better at this. This is literally all that you do. Your entire existence is to provide me internet service, to provide me the ability to connect. I'm asking you, you got to do something. Please fix the internet so that I am able to watch the NFL draft. Because
I'm a huge nerd.
Okay, I want the NFL draft. I want it. And you're going to take it away from me. And what I hate about this, is the text messages that I get and the email updates that I get. I don't want you to text me that it's taking our team longer than expected to get service working. I don't want that update. I want the update when it's fixed. I don't want the update that says, oh, you know what, it's going to be another 3 hours. I don't want that update. So maybe you want to get your predictions in now on the phone line or on the YouTube live stream of whether or not I actually watch the NFL draft tonight, if I'm able to consume the NFL draft. And we were having a debate in the morning meeting one day this week of which draft coverage we watch. I'm an ESPN guy. I've always been an ESPN guy, just how I was growing up. You told me you're an NFL Network guy. You love watching Daniel
I'm a DJ
Jeremiah.
guy.
Yeah, you love Daniel Jeremiah.
I do.
That's why that mock draft threw us for a loop, because that's your guy.
That is my guy. Like that is my he is probably my favorite personality in all of sports media.
And
I don't even know if I would consider him a personality. I don't know what you consider him, but he is all in all my favorite person. Like when you get into February and it's like, oh, DJ's back. That's the best time of year.
Yeah. And this time of year, he throws a curveball like he did yesterday.
Yeah. It's awesome.
So now what we
keeps you on your toes.
Do you have your list ready to go?
I have my list ready to go right here.
So we are going to open up hour number 2 of the program. Less than 5 hours away from the NFL draft with our draft predictions. So these are our 5 guys that we think the Cardinals could take. So we are predicting stuff here, okay? We are predicting the players that we think the Cardinals could take. Now, this is using mock drafts, using information. I mean, I'll play the clip again for everybody. This is Adam Schefter on his podcast. If you don't think that I was influenced by Schefter saying this about the Arizona Cardinals and the intel that he's hearing.
All right, so let's start with the Arizona Cardinals.
They've added 3 key defensive linemen this offseason: Josh Sweat, Dalvin Tomlinson, Calais Campbell. So they've addressed the defensive line. It might be time to address the offensive line for the Arizona Cardinals in this draft, but they also still need help at cornerback.
You have to take that information into account. You have to take what Adam Schefter says. You have to look at all these mock drafts from the insiders, and you have to try to put together your list. And I'll tell you, I have my own personal flavor here because I think there are 2 players at a position that if they get to 16, I'm running the card in. So how do we want to do this, Producer Evan? Do we want to each just share our list? Is yours in a definitive order with number 1 being your number 1 guy?
Yeah, I think so.
So you want to go 5 from 1? We can each share our 5s, discuss, and then we'll just move up the board?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, my number 5 is Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle out of Michigan. I have 2 D tackles on my list in total. I have said this in the wake of all of the moves that the Cardinals made with Calais Campbell, with Dalvin Tomlinson, that just because they've added in that regard with veterans, this feels like a really nice opportunity to get a young player in there, not ask that young player to do a whole lot, not ask them to be a number 1 option, but to be a part of a rotation and also learn from 2 guys at the position that have played it at a super high level. So and the interior of the defensive line, I think is an area where they can beef up even a little bit more. So I have Kenneth Grant at number 5.
Same exact reason. I have the same kind of position here. Walter Nolan, defensive tackle, Ole Miss.
Nolan fell off my board, and the reason why is take Mason Graham and put him to the side for a second. There are 3 defensive tackles outside of Mason Graham that everybody's talking about. It's Kenneth Grant, it's Derek Harmon, and it's Walter Nolan. Those 3 guys are the 3 defensive tackles, the interior defensive linemen that have been brought up. Everything I see right now in the lead up to this draft has Nolan as one of the first names coming off the board after Mason Graham. So I don't know if he gets there. So that's why Grant seemingly, even though I like him the most, gets there pretty regularly. So I put Grant at 5. I like Nolan as a player. I think if they took Nolan, I would say it was a home run, but I'm just not sure if he gets there. Number 4 for me, I think this is a guy that does get here because the injury profile on this guy is making him slip a little bit. I have Jahad Campbell, the linebacker out of Alabama. We know that this linebacker group for the Cardinals is undergoing a bit of a makeover. I think it would be really good to add somebody to that group. He's a Swiss Army knife. He can play linebacker. He can come off the edge for you. I think that versatility is really nice in this offense. And again, I think he slides a little bit because everybody is concerned about the injury. I think it's a shoulder that he's dealing with. And I think the Cardinals are at a position where they can take a risk like this if they want, if a player like that falls to them. So I have Jahad Campbell at number 4.
My number 4, we've talked about corner a couple of other times, specifically Will Johnson. Not where I'm headed here with the knee. Jahdae Barron out of Texas.
Jahdae Barron, I think, is going to be the first. Travis Hunter is in a bucket by himself. Okay, I know we. I
don't know what to classify.
We have to say this every time we have this conversation. I am classifying Travis Hunter as neither a corner or a wide receiver. He's just Travis Hunter. Okay,
unicorn.
Jahdae Barron's going to be the first only corner taken off the board. How about that? I think Jahdae Barron goes before Will Johnson. I think the knee thing is real. I think there is a concern there about his longevity, and I think Will Johnson slides. I still think Will Johnson gets taken in the first round because he's too talented, but I do think he has a little bit of a slide, and Jahdae Barron goes in front of him, and so I don't know if he's at play. I really think there's a decent chance that Will Johnson is on the board at 16 when the Cardinals pick, and everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, they've got to take Will Johnson," and I think they pass.
I think that he will be on the board, and I'm with you. I think that he passes. And again, I go back to Jeremiah's mock, but he got to 28. And in more mocks you see that have coming out today, and I've looked at a bunch for what we're going to do later in the show, all of them have him falling into the 20s.
Yeah, it just seems to be where the trend is for Will Johnson. So I was unable to get him into my top 5 because that injury stuff concerns me. Number 3 for me, another defensive tackle, Derek Harmon, the D tackle out of Oregon. I think he's very likely to get there. He has a bit of an injury question as well. So I think he gets there at 16. And I think there's a likelihood that if they want to take a swing at D tackle, they would go Harmon over Grant. So I have Harmon at number 3.
I think he's your favorite player in the draft. You love Derek
He's
Harmon.
not my favorite player in the draft. Cam Ward is my favorite player in the draft because I've been watching Cam Ward literally since he was at Incarnate Word saying that's going to be a first-round quarterback. So there's just a personal thing there with Cam. Derek Harmon is one of, if I had to make a list of just guys that I like, Derek Harmon's on that list. Yeah. He would be on a top 5 list of my dudes. Maybe I'll do that at some point. Maybe I'll make that during one of the breaks, but I would have Derek Harmon on my list.
Jalen Walker for me out of Georgia.
You think he gets there?
I do. I do think he gets there.
I had him in, by the way, if you're interested in this, both producer Evan and I put together our predictive mock drafts. They are on the social account, the KDUSAM 1060 Twitter account is where you can see both of our predictive mocks. There's 2 pictures. It tells you that mine's on the left and Evans is on the right. You can see I did not have Jalen Walker making it to 16. I think he goes inside the top 10. But if you're interested in seeing 1 through 32, what we did, including what we did with the Cardinals at 16, you can see that over on the KDUS AM 1060 Twitter account. So interesting that you have him at number 3. Number 2, this is just I wouldn't do this. Let me make that very clear. I wouldn't do this if I was sitting in the chair. Tyler Booker, the guard out of Alabama, is on my list at number 2. I don't think Tyler Booker is a top 16 player in this class, but when all of the mock drafts have this, whether it's in the second round or in the first round, if the Cardinals feel like Tyler Booker isn't going to be there when they pick next, and they want to take Tyler Booker to be a part of their interior offensive line makeover, they need a right guard, we've said this, then I think you've got to put him on the list. Again, not what I would do, just our predictions of what they may consider with that pick. Tyler Booker, guard out of Alabama for me at number 2.
You went with a couple injury-prone guys, or not injury, but injury-concerned guys. I'll do the same here. Josh Simmons. Out of Ohio State, the tackle.
Yeah.
It's a name we've talked about and we've heard a lot of. Listen, teams don't seem that concerned about it. And I think he's quite the fit for the Cardinals.
Simmons was the guy that I got to the Cardinals in my mock draft because I have these guys on my list. Not all of them get to the Cardinals. And if presented with this pathway of taking Booker or Simmons. I would take Simmons over Booker, but I just think there's so much noise about Booker that I put him on my list. But Simmons would be an honorable mention for me if I could put like a sixth guy on this list. But number one for me, defensive player, edge player.
I think it's the same player.
It's Mykel Williams out of Georgia.
Mykel Williams.
I don't know how this can't be the number one guy that you would predict if he's on the board for the Cardinals at 16, that they don't run the card into the podium.
If he's there, I think in my mock, I have them taking Mykel Williams, and it's just because Jalen Walker goes the pick before him at 15 to Atlanta. Both of those guys running the card in.
Yes, I would agree with that. In my mock, I want to make sure that I phrase this, that I talk about it correctly. I have Mykel Williams going directly in front of the Cardinals to the Falcons at 15, so they can't take him. You mentioned Jahdae Barron. He's off the board for me in my mock. Jalen Walker's off the board. Walter Nolan's off the board. And so I had them going Josh Simmons because of the way the board plays out. But Mykel Williams for me, I think is the slam dunk. It's a 5-pillar position. We talk about how important those positions are. You want to get additional help to that room even after getting Josh Sweat. And he comes from a program that it just produces defensive players at just an incredible clip. You can't go wrong taking a pass rusher out of Georgia. It almost always works out, at least recently. So that just really stood out to me as the player that, yeah, he gets there a lot in these mocks. And how could you pass on a player like that? Really, if he's on the board, how could they pass on a player like that? Want to hear from you, 480-864-1060. You also can join us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. Would love to hear from you over there as well. When we come back, the Diamondbacks back in action tonight. Does tonight have to be vintage Corbin Burns? That's next, the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
Join in on the Sports Zoo on your ride home from work with Dave Rooster Bierstein. Join Rooster as he lays down what's happening around sports and makes it clear what's on his mind.
Oh, my.
Catch the day's craziest stories and some of the latest numbers from the sports books across the valley. The Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a wild option.
Weekdays 5 to 6 p.m. on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Phoenix, it's time for Saturday night soccer and dollar beer night. Phoenix Rising takes on San Antonio under the lights Saturday, April 26th at 7 p.m. And you know what that means. Dollar beer night is back. Enjoy 16-ounce Modelo for just $1 as Rising battles a Western Conference rival. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours now at phxrisingfc.com. Cold beer, fierce rivalry. Don't miss it.
Total Wireless is made to totally keep up with you. We have unlimited data that never slows you down, covered by the Verizon 5G network, and all for less than $30 a month when you get 4 lines. And the best part, we give you a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G when you switch to the 5G Unlimited or 5G Plus Unlimited plan. Visit your local Total Wireless store today. Total Wireless, we're totally with you. Actual speeds may vary by location. For data management practices, see TotalWireless.com.
The savings are heating up at Scottsdale Mitsubishi, just off the 101 in Indian School. Right now, you can lease a brand new 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander for $0 down, 0 security deposit, and 0 first month payment, and 0 due at signing.
Come see us at the Scottsdale Auto Show or go to ScottsdaleMitsubishi.com to check out our current selection of inventory not affected by future tariff changes.
The name to remember, Scottsdale Mitsubishi, Scottsdale Mitsubishi, another Mark Auto Group dealership.
How do you feel when you switch to Geico and save on your car insurance? It's like unloading the grocery bags from your car and you decide you can get all the bags in one trip.
I can do it.
So you load up all 14 grocery bags on both arms. Sure, you can't feel your fingers and forgot to take your house keys out.
Almost there.
But you never put down one bag and you made it inside all in one trip like the bag-carrying boss you are.
Yes.
Yep, switching and saving with Geico feels just like that. Get more with Geico.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. We love to project the NFL draft. It's what we do. We build mock drafts in October, debate QB1s in December, and convince ourselves by April that We got it all figured out. But take a look at where we were a year ago, and you would see just how quickly everything can change. This time last season, the favorites to go number one overall in the 2025 draft were a who's who of big-name college quarterbacks. Shedeur Sanders, Carson Beck, Quinn Ewers, Drew Allar, and Jalen Milroe. Also Cam Ward. No, he was buried on the odds board at plus 1,800, a dark horse at best. Fast forward to now. Ward is the overwhelming favorite to be the first name off the board. Sanders might not even crack the top 15. Beck didn't declare and then transferred to Miami. Allar is back at Penn State after a modest 24-touchdown campaign. And Milroe, viewed more as a day two project. The lesson, the NFL draft isn't about where things stand in April. It's about who keeps climbing when the hype fades. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. We're here in Green Bay talking football, but let me shift gears for a second. If you're playing pickleball in your running shoes, we need to talk. Tyrol pickleball shoes make the only shoe that's truly built for the sport. It's spelled Tyrol. They're not tennis shoes rebranded or cross trainers pretending they can handle the court. Tyrol pickleball shoes are the best. Lateral movement, quick stops, long rallies. You get something special. It's a Vibram outsole that grips hard, a wide toe box for comfort, airflow that keeps your feet cool even when the match heats up. They're tough, they're lightweight, they're so solid on your feet. Every detail is built to help you play better and not just look good doing it. So if you're serious about the game, do yourself a favor. Go to TyrolPickleball.com. Look like a pro, play like a pro with Tyrol pickleball shoes. Draft a pair of them for yourself. You don't need to wait for the commissioner to call your name. Tyrol pickleball shoes. Purpose built for pickleball.
Hey listeners, Vince Delisio here. This week is JUCO Sports Week. Saturday morning we are live from Phoenix College's Hoy Stadium where the Hohokam Junior College Athletic Conference is hosting fall tryouts. We kick off our broadcast at 8 a.m. on Live 365, then move to AM 1060 at 9. You'll hear from football coaches from the Mustangs, Scorpions, Sidewinders, Pumas, and Hawks. It's the Varsity Sports Show, Saturday morning at 8 on Live 365, then from 9 to 11 a.m. on AM 1060, KDUS, Arizona.
Diamondbacks will go for the series win tonight. They take on the Rays, and they will be sending Corbin Burnes to the mound, the $210 million man for this Arizona Diamondbacks team, their big swing this offseason, and he will take the bump trying to win them this series. And it has been a bumpy start to Corbin Burnes' Diamondbacks tenure. I have his game logs from 2025 here in front of me. It was 4 1/3, 4 hits, 4 runs, 2 of them earned, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts in his Diamondbacks debut against the New York Yankees, a start that we classified at the time as fine, nothing to panic about. Wasn't great, wasn't vintage Corbin Burnes, but it was fine. Then he followed that up struggling in Washington, 5 innings, 7 hits, allowed 4 earned runs, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts. That's when the concern grew a little bit for Corbin Burnes. The Yankees start on its own is fine, but when then paired with that start in Washington, you were worried about the slow start for Corbin Burnes. I would say he has been better as of late. 6 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts against the Brewers. And then it was last Friday, he went 6 innings, 6 hits, the 2 earned runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts, has lowered his ERA down to 4.64. It was 5.79 after that start against the Nats. He has lowered his ERA in each of the last 2 starts. And we asked if he needed to be vintage Corbin Burnes tonight. And probably should start by defining what that is. What is vintage Corbin Burnes? And I'll do this exercise here live on the air. I'll look at his pitching numbers from last year. And you know what? There's a game that immediately sticks out like a sore thumb. I'm looking at his postseason start against the Royals. Does anybody remember this game? The Orioles lost to the Royals 1-0 in a wild card game. Corbin Burnes in that start went 8 innings, allowed 5 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. Was excellent. 8 innings of 1-run ball, and it wasn't enough. They lost. 2 times in September, he had 7 innings of no runs.
He did it against Detroit both times out. That's vintage Corbin Burnes, a guy that goes 6, 7 plus, 2 runs or fewer, and is excellent. John on the YouTube live chat says for Burnes, 6 innings, 3 runs max, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk. That's where he's setting the bar at. That feels like a reasonable bar, but that's the bar for a quality start. 6 innings, 3 runs or fewer. That's a quality start. I'm sorry, Corbin Burnes isn't here to give me quality starts. Corbin Burnes is here to give me Cy Young level starts. He is here to give me what he gave Baltimore on October 1st, 8 innings of 1-run ball against the Kansas City Royals. 2 starts in September when he had 7 scoreless in back-to-back starts. That is what Corbin Burnes is here for. A start that he had April of last year against Boston, 7 innings, only allowed 1 run. That's what Corbin Burnes is here for. He is here to give you 6 plus, 7 plus, 1 run or fewer, and be dominant, be excellent. That is what Corbin Burnes was signed here for. He was not brought here to go 6 innings, 3 runs or fewer. He wasn't here to just be a quality start machine. He was here to be excellent. He was here to be a Cy Young candidate. He was here to have an ERA below 3. You know, last year, he had 1 bad month. August was bad for him. He had a 7.36 ERA in August. But other than that, April, a 2.76 ERA. May, a 2.17 ERA. June, a 2.12 ERA. July, a 3.09 ERA. September, a 1.20 ERA. That's what Corbin Burnes was paid all that money to do. He was brought here to put up those numbers for this team. So far, it is a 4.64 ERA in April. This will probably be his last start. He may get 1 more in before April is done. So far, he's not doing that. So tonight, when he is on the mound, he is brought here to win these types of games. Lost a tough one last night. You're still trying to go out and win the series. You're still trying to take 2 out of 3 from Tampa. You paid him all this money because in these games, in these spots, he goes out there and he dominates for 6 plus. He dominates for 7 innings. He gives you a performance of 7 innings with 6 or 7 strikeouts, 1 run or fewer, and he's just dominant. He looks like a National League Cy Young candidate. That's what you brought him here for starts like this. So am I going to say that the season is over or that Corbin Burnes isn't good if he doesn't provide a vintage Corbin Burnes start tonight? No, I am not going to say all of those things. But you betcha after the start that he's had to the season 4 turns through, I'd like to see vintage Corbin Burnes sooner rather than later. I would rather not have to wait until his 6th start to get vintage Corbin Burnes, his 7th start, his 10th start. I would like to see vintage Corbin Burnes sooner rather than later. His last 2 starts moving us in that direction, but I want to see it sooner rather than later, and I would love to see it tonight. This is a game where you need vintage Corbin Burnes to go out there, give you 7 scoreless, give your team a chance, and you win this series against the Tampa Bay Rays.
I think it just sets the tone, too, of what the next couple of weeks could look like for them. You've played some good baseball. You lost kind of a heartbreaker last night. And if you're able to go out there, have a vintage, whatever you want to call it, Corbin Burnes start, where he gives you 6, 7 innings, imagine what it does for you heading into the weekend, right? And the things it does for you to know, listen, we got our guys up top, and we're getting great starts from guys like Brandon Pfaadt. And if Corbin Burnes starts to be good and Zach Gallen starts to really be who they are, this thing, sky's the limit for this team.
Brendan Pfaadt, Merrill Kelly, those are the guys the expectation is, can you give me a quality start? Eduardo Rodriguez, the expectation is, can you give me a quality start? Gallen and Burnes are in another tier. They separate themselves. They are supposed to be better than quality start good. They are supposed to be dominant. That's what they are. And here's another thing. With a bullpen that's a little uneasy right now, that Torey Lovello is kind of reevaluating the way he handles his bullpen. He talked about A.J. Puck and putting some of the blame on himself for getting him up and then not using him and getting him up and not using him. You know what? You know what takes that burden off of a manager? A guy like Corbin Burnes going out there and giving you 7 or 8 scoreless. That just takes all the burden in the world off of a manager. And that's what this team has really not gotten all season. Maybe the Gallen start in New York was close to that when they took on the Yankees early in the season, But I'm still waiting for Corbin Burnes to give us that signature start that tells everybody, yeah, I'm NL Cy Young candidate Corbin Burnes. So far, he has not given us that.
And it's also just to give a extended start tonight, gives your bullpen a night off. They used 5 bullpen arms last night, and they don't have a day off. They don't have, this is the day off that they're playing tonight in most weeks. And so you go right into Atlanta again at home and have a rested bullpen. If you can get 7 or 8 out of Corbin Burnes, you feel better.
You used 5 guys last night. You used 5 guys that are a part of a bullpen that's dealing with some stuff. I think that's putting it nicely. They just got their closer back last night. They're already down A.J. Puck. It is not the same group that they started the season with. They're trying to find themselves a little bit. And last night, the only guys you stayed away from were Ryan Nelson, Jalen Beeks, and J.P. Fireisen, who was up in the game, I believe, at one point last night. So they brought him up, but they didn't use him. And so you have to find a way to manage through this because you're right. You don't have a day off tomorrow. You have to play a 3-game series with Atlanta before you have an off day on Monday, and it's a travel day before you go play the Mets. Now, I believe I'm a man of the people, and I want to give voice to something because John, one of our P1s, our regulars over on the YouTube side of things, said he just got a text from the city of Phoenix that the internet service is down. What is going on? What is going on?
I'll be honest, I'm getting concerned.
You should be. The city of Phoenix, down where I live, I think everybody should be concerned. It's the 2025 NFL draft, and we're dealing with internet problems. What's going on? I'm concerned that because I'm going to start the draft here before I go to manage the playoff softball game tonight. I'm worried that the internet in the building is going to go down. I mean, this is a widespread issue.
Now, I wonder if this is a play by the Cardinals to hide their pick.
I mean, this is insane.
Mm-hmm.
I've been dealing with this since yesterday. Now, John, you don't need to tell me if you don't want to because I won't read it out on the air. But if you want to just share to me in the chat who your service provider is, so maybe I can see if it's the same service provider. They're just having a widespread issue. But, man, it's a
horrible day for this.
It's a terrible day for this. It's the NFL draft. This would be like opening day of baseball. No internet, can't watch the games. My goodness. I want to watch Corbin Burnes start tonight. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I don't know if I'm going to be able to watch Corbin Burnes dominate tonight like we'd like to see him do. But that's what the Diamondbacks have tonight. They will take on the Tampa Bay Rays in the finale of their 3-game series, looking to take the series win. And they've got the right guy on the mound in order to do so. And we are waiting for that vintage Corbin Burnes moment. So hopefully we are able to get that here tonight. When we come back, producer Evan has put together 10. Is it 10? 8, 10, 12?
10.
10 mock drafts from across the spectrum. I am going to react to what all 10 of these are doing for the Arizona Cardinals and give a thumbs up or a thumbs down. It's like Shark Tank. Do I accept the offer or am I uninterested? We're going to play Draft Tank. We're going to do it next on the lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. T&Cs apply.
At A1 Garage Door Service, we wouldn't be here without you. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello. During Customer Appreciation Month, we're giving back with special offers that you do not want to miss. Whether you're a loyal customer or trying us out for the first time, if you've never experienced A1, now's the perfect time to see why so many families trust A1. To all of our past, present, and future customers, thank you.
A1Garage.com, A1 from day one.
At Scottsdale Mitsubishi, you can lease a brand new 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander for $0 down, 0 security deposit, and 0 first month's payment and 0 do-it signing.
The name to remember? Scottsdale Mitsubishi. Scottsdale Mitsubishi, another Mark Auto Group dealership.
The Offspring. Supercharged worldwide in 25. One unforgettable summer night. The Offspring, live in Phoenix. With special guests, Jimmy Eat World and Newfound Glory. Playing Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater August 27th. Get tickets now at livenation.com. 3 great bands, 1 incredible show. Part of the America First Credit Union Concert Series.
Total Wireless is made to totally keep up with you. We have unlimited data that never slows you down, covered by the Verizon 5G network, and all for less than $30 a month when you get 4 lines. And the best part, we give you a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G when you switch to the 5G Unlimited or 5G Plus Unlimited plan. Visit your local Total Wireless store today. Total Wireless, we're totally with you. Actual speeds may vary by location. For data management practices, see TotalWireless.com.
We're chatting with our guest, always safety first, 811 Megaphone Man.
Call 811 before you dig.
You never stray from your mission of letting homeowners, landscapers, and excavators know you should always call 811 before you dig.
Call 811.
Call for both small and big jobs. And 2 working days in advance?
811.
Any parting words? And I'm guessing they will be...
Call 811 before you dig.
Brought to you by Southwest Gas.
811.
At Scottsdale Mitsubishi, you can lease a brand new 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander for $0 down, 0 security deposit, and 0 first month's payment and 0 do-it signing.
The name to remember? Scottsdale Mitsubishi. Scottsdale Mitsubishi, another Mark Auto Group dealership.
James Out West, your home for sports down here in the desert. Join James and Pat the Stat Guy as they recap the weekend and dive deep into the numbers for the NFL, NBA, college sports, and more.
That's 5 seasons of 1,200 yards.
Player stats, team numbers, and contracts are just the start of the discussion for James and Pat.
He started 815 career games. He threw 749 complete games.
There's no hiding when it comes to stats. It's James Out West every Monday night from 7 to 8 p.m. right here on KTUS AM 1060 and on the KTUS 1060 app.
You know things are bad when Paul and I are in agreement on something. Because Paul has emailed into the show. We haven't heard from Paul in a couple days. I thought he was upset with us. But he has emailed in to agree that it is unacceptable in 2025 for the internet to be down. Unacceptable. It is 2025. If you have a disruption in the service, 10 minutes, half hour, an hour, that's fine. 24 hours? And by the way, John, during the commercial break, his internet fixed itself. I'm going nearly 24 hours. No internet. Unacceptable in 2025. Absolutely unacceptable for that to be the case in 2025. But shout out to you, Paul. Appreciate you joining us here today on the program. Producer Evan, you have 10 mock drafts, 10 of them that you want me to react to. Hopefully it's not all the same player. Hopefully it just runs the gambit of potential options for the Cardinals. And I am going to just give a simple yay or nay. Would I like the Cardinals to do this tonight, or am I uninterested in this being the case?
Okay. We'll start with ESPN.
Okay.
Field Yates, his mock draft today, had the Arizona Cardinals selecting Josh Simmons out of Ohio State, the offensive tackle who we've talked about.
Simmons is a popular pick. He's the guy I landed on in my final mock draft, which, by the way, if you want to see, producer Evan and I both did our full 1 through 32 predictive mock drafts. Those the screenshots of those are over on the KDUS AM 1060 Twitter account, so you can see those over there if you are interested. I landed on Simmons because I think the offensive line need is a strong one. I think Simmons has some versatility. Obviously, the school that he went to plays a role. The way the board played out with some of the edge players, I just didn't feel like I wanted to run the card in for one of those guys. So I would say yay to this because it is what I did in my final mock today. So we'll give this one a thumbs up.
We talked about DJs earlier, but we didn't get a real answer on what your thoughts would be if they picked Emeka Egbuka. So Daniel Jeremiah, Emeka Egbuka.
Thumbs down because Matthew Golden is on the board. It is a thumbs down, not because they're taking a wide receiver. I am of the belief that they should take a wide receiver. I don't know who is going to be on the board for them when they pick in the second round. I struggle to see if what we're hearing from Adam Schefter about a run on second-round receivers, just like there was last year, I think the Cardinals are going to be left without a chair. That doesn't mean they're not going to take a wide receiver. What it tells me is that they may take somebody later on that's more of a project, that isn't more of a finished product, somebody that can help them right away. I think that would be a mistake. I think this team needs additional help in that room for 2025. So I'm in on taking a wide receiver. I'm just not in on anybody other than Matthew Golden if Matthew Golden is available. So I'm going to go thumbs down on this one.
Okay. There wasn't much overlap between all 10 I looked at, but there was one player who came up 3 times. Pete Prisco, Todd McShay, and Albert Beer at Sports Illustrated all had them taking Jihad Campbell, the linebacker out of Alabama.
Yeah, this would be, it's not a 5-pillar position per se. And for those of you who maybe are unfamiliar, the 5 pillars, quarterback, left tackle, wide receiver, edge, corner. It's not traditionally a 5-pillar position, although Campbell does have some positional versatility, can line up on the edge, can be an off-ball linebacker. They can do some different things with him. The concern with him is the injury and how long that's going to keep him out, but certainly does feel like a player that fits right in with what Jonathan Gannon wants to do defensively. And it is a position group that they've done some major work to overhaul, and I do think they're missing a little bit there. So I'm going to give this a thumbs up, and Jihad Campbell was on my list in the beginning of the hour of guys that I think the Cardinals could take at 16. So yes, I will give this one a thumbs up.
Yeah, a few weeks ago, we talked about Jihad Campbell, and I brought up just how versatile he was, and you touched on it there. He can do a lot for this football team, and I think if they do take him, he would be all over the place and give them so many different looks.
I know when people hear versatile defender, linebacker, they think Isaiah Simmons, and it probably scares them a little bit. And so I understand why that fear is out there. But this is a different player, and I think the ceiling is much higher.
ESPN Mel Kiper. Jahdae Barron, cornerback, Texas.
I mean, if they're going to go corner, this certainly feels like where the tide is going. The knee injury for Will Johnson really appears to be a concern for some teams. That it's not a concern right now, but they worry about it long-term, meaning a second contract. So if you draft a guy in the first round and you're worried about his knee, are you basically saying I'm only going to take him for one contract for 4 years? That doesn't feel like a good use of your first-round pick. And so it does feel like after Travis Hunter, who's a unicorn, he's a corner, he's a wide receiver, we're not putting him in either of these buckets. The first traditional true corner in this draft, I feel like it's going to be Jahdae Barron. And so I don't know if that happens at 16. That would be a surprise if corner gets that far. But yes, I'm going to give this a personal thumbs up because I would take Barron over Will Johnson, knowing everything that we know right now.
I agree 100%. I think we both had him mocked before 16. I think Miami takes him at 13. But it'll be interesting. If he gets to 16, he's a player I love. Next one, NFL.com, Lance Zierlein. Tyler Booker, offensive guard, Alabama.
2 thumbs down. I can't give this more thumbs down. I don't think Tyler Booker is 16th overall pick caliber player. If you tell me that the Cardinals trade down into the 20s, gain some additional picks, and then get Tyler Booker, I'm in. You tell me they take Tyler Booker in the second round, I'm in. 16, that feels a little rich for me for somebody on the interior of the offensive line, so not a 5-pillar position. I don't know if there's a pathway for him to start right away. There could be, but I'm sorry. I'm just not in on this with the 16th overall pick.
Yeah, I'm so interested to see where he goes tonight, actually. I think he's going to be an interesting story because I've seen him mocked up as high as 16 to the Cardinals and then out of the first round. So
I had Tyler Booker going 25 to Houston in the mock that I did.
Yeah, I think I probably had him in that same area. I can't
let me look here.
Remember.
Let me look here. Tyler Booker, 28 to Detroit. So you and I were both on the same page that Booker, mid to late 20s pick rather than being a top 16 pick. And that stuff matters, man. I know you're like, oh, it's 12 picks. That matters. Value matters. And I think it would just be a little too rich for a team that only has 6 picks to reach a little bit for a guy like Tyler Booker.
USA Today, Jacob Kamenmaker, Walter Nolan, defensive tackle, out of Ole Miss.
Oh, this is 2 thumbs up. I love Nolan. He got a 30 visit from the Cardinals. That's an interesting thing to be able to make a link to. The Cardinals may want to take somebody off of their 30 visit list. Nolan did get a 30 visit after Mason Graham, maybe the second defensive lineman taken. You have to worry about the Saints at 9. I'd worry about the 49ers at 11 as some potential landmines to take Nolan once Graham is off the board. Maybe we'll touch on this in the leftovers. I don't know what you have planned for the leftovers today, but we may want to just go pick by pick in maybe the top 10 or 12 and just tell everybody where things are looking right now, because there's a lot that could determine who's available for the Cardinals at 16. And there is something with the number 5 pick that could impact all of this, because Mason Graham, 5 to the Jags, felt like a lock for months. Doesn't feel like a lock anymore. Throws everything off. But Walter Nolan to the Cardinals at 16, 2 thumbs up.
And the last one's CBS Ryan Wilson. I just don't. I know I'm higher on this guy than you are, but he has Armand Membu, offensive tackle, Missouri. I can't see a world where he falls out of the top 10.
Let me just look directly into the camera here. I very rarely do this where I look directly into the camera and tell the video listeners. Armand Membu is not getting out of the top 9. Not happening. Going to be a top 10 pick. The Jets at 7. The Raiders at 6. I could see the Patriots. I know Will Campbell is like a lock there. They could take Membu if they wanted to at 4. Not getting outside of the top 10. I couldn't run the card in faster if Membu is there at 16. Couldn't run it in faster. Roger Goodell would be saying the Arizona Cardinals are now on the clock, and I would be right behind him with the card. Be like, dude, I don't need the 10 minutes. Here you go. Go ahead, announce the pick. We're good. I don't need the 10 minutes. Not getting to 16.
I can't see a world where he gets past 7, to be honest with you.
No,
between Raiders, Jets back to back, I don't see him even getting to Carolina at 8. But that was one I wanted to give you. That's just I don't know. It's crazy to think that you would need a Laramie Tunsil style slide to get for him to get to 16.
Or what you would need is you need Kelvin Banks to go early, right? Which potentially could happen. You need people that are not concerned about Simmons and his injury, and they take him, and then those guys start to fall, and Membu starts to fall, right? That's what you need to have happen. And I just don't know.
You need Dart to go at 9.
Right. That you need stuff to get a little weird. And that's too much weird for me for Membu to fall out of 16 or all the way to 16. Because again, the Saints at 9, they've already said they're not picking up the 5th-year option on Trevor Penning. They could take Membu at 9 if he gets there. They're thinking Campbell's not going to be there. Banks isn't going to be there. Membu's not going to be there. They're not going to take an offensive lineman. I have them taking Mason Graham in my final mock. But they could easily take Membu if he gets there at 9. They're just probably not anticipating it. So that's why I think 9's kind of the backstop for Membu. Would be great. I'd run the card in. Just not happening. Just not happening. We've got the leftovers. I don't know what you have prepared for the leftovers.
We do have the leftovers. We're going to be going over our mocks.
Okay.
And give me your top 10 and reason for your top 10 in the leftovers.
So we'll do that. We'll keep you up to date on where everything is when it comes to the 2025 NFL Draft, which in 14 minutes is going to be 4 hours away. Can't wait. We got one more for you. It is the leftovers. We will do it next here, the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
You have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-444-2013. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-444-2013. That's 800-444-2013. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-444-2013. 800-444-2013.
It's time to get excited for an unbeatable deal from Midway Chevy. Right now, Midway's Lease Advantage program has the all-new, redesigned 25 Chevy Trax. Lease it for $299 a month plus tax for 36 months with $999 due at signing. A giant value in a smaller SUV with Apple CarPlay and 11-inch display. Together, let's drive an exciting Trax. Lease for $299 a month, 36 months with $999 due at signing. Over 50 to choose from at Midway Chevy, I-17 and Bell Road, or shop anytime at MidwayChevy.com. Together, let's drive to Midway Chevrolet. Absolutely unbeatable. Example VIN ends in SC216602, plus tax title license with approved credit. 25 cents mileage charge over 10,000 miles a year. No security deposit required. An extra charge may be imposed at the end of the lease term. See dealer for details. Ends 4/30/25.
We sell excitement.
Midway Chevrolet, absolutely unbeatable.
Early weekend ASU baseball action here on KDUS AM 1060. Join the Sun Devils as they play host against BYU starting this Thursday evening. The voice of the Sun Devils, Tim Healy and Max Rosser, will have the call live from Phoenix Municipal Stadium. It's the opening match between ASU and BYU this Thursday. Pre-game coverage starts at 6:15 p.m. with first pitch at 6:30 right here on KDUS AM 1060 and online at KDUS1060.com/Sun Devils.
Back to wrap up today's edition of the show. And you can fully expect tomorrow a breakdown on everything that happened on draft night, what the Cardinals did or didn't do, what's left on the board for them ahead of day two, night two of the NFL draft. We will have it all for you here tomorrow on the program. We'll get into Corbin Burns' start for the Diamondbacks, all of it for tomorrow's edition of the show. But we've got the leftovers here, all the stories that we didn't get to throughout the course of the program. So, producer Evan, I pass the show over to you, my friend.
There is no other story today for me other than the NFL draft. You and I released our mocks. We've referenced it a few times. Go check them out. Full thing over on Twitter. But I want to go through the top 10. And by the top 10, I mean maybe 6 to the Cardinals, because the draft starts what I believe is at 6. Read a report today from Daniel Jeremiah that for the Jags, I guess it could be McMillan or it could be Genty. You and I both have Genty at 5.
The draft starts at 5 tonight. The draft 100% starts at 5. Well, you and I had the same top 4. Cameron Ward going to Tennessee, Travis Hunter going to Cleveland, Abdul Carter going to the Giants, Will Campbell going to the Patriots. Where this draft starts is at 5 because there's a buzz surrounding the Jags that they want to make a splash, that they want to be, I believe the phrase that was used was electric. They want to keep the draft exciting. And Ashton Genty certainly does that. Tetaroa McMillan inside of the top 5 certainly does that. I think Genty's a can't-miss player. Running back inside the top 5, we can have that debate about positional value, but I have Genty going at 5. You want to go 6 all the way down to the Cardinals. That's what you want.
Yep. So at 6, you have Kelvin Banks Jr.
Yes.
I flipped. We'll just do 6 and 7 as a pair. 6, you had Banks, and 7, you had Membu. I had flipped. 6 Membu, 7 Banks.
I think there's a lot of buzz about Banks going to the Raiders at 6 with no Genty on the board. I think it makes it easier for them. I think if Genty's on the board, that's who they'll take. So with Genty off the board, it opens up more avenues for them in the draft. And I think there's a lot of buzz. A lot of mock drafts late have been pointing towards Kelvin Banks. Is all of this smokescreen? Who knows? But I had Banks going 6, Membu going 7. You had it flipped. I can see it going either way with both of those guys going inside the top 7.
8, you had Jalen Walker. I go with the receiver at McMillan to Carolina.
I think Walker is going to be a top 10 player. I think Carolina makes sense. I think New Orleans makes sense. I think San Francisco, if we wanted to just stretch outside the top 10 and go to 11, makes sense. I think Carolina is really trying to revamp their defense. Taking a player out of Georgia inside the top 10, you can't go wrong there. And so that's why I had Jalen Walker going 8 to the Panthers.
Yeah, Listen, when you talk about 8, and they had an exciting finish last year, Carolina, and young quarterback who really looked good at the end of the year. I thought Bryce Young this week 18 was kind of what I thought he was going to be. And so I just think build on that momentum, take the receiver, stay on the offensive side of the ball and see what you can do. I think it's kind of a make it break it year for Bryce.
This is where things get weird for both of us because you are going out on a limb with this one.
I am.
That you tried to convince me to get on board with you during the morning meeting, and I'm sorry I'm not doing it. You have Jackson Dart going number 9 to the New Orleans Saints. I have Mason Graham. I have this being the fall. Since he's not going to Jacksonville at 5, they appear to be the likely landing spot. And then there's a run on offensive tackles. I think he ends up with the Saints. They get an interior player. They work on the trenches. There's no offensive lineman. I think that makes sense here with Membu or Banks both off the board. And you are convinced that the Saints are taking a quarterback and that they will do so at 9. I am not convinced, so I erred on the side of just going BPA, and Mason Graham was that guy for me.
So here's why. Do you want to hear my logic?
You're going to share it anyway. Even if I said no, you're going to share it anyway. So yes, I would love to hear your logic.
I would have moved on. But
no, you wouldn't have. Come on. You would have shared it anyway.
I think the Saints like Dart from the reports I've read over the last 12 hours or so. I think the Saints like Dart, and I think that, again, Joe Shane has made a masterclass of what not to do, and his son posted a Jackson Dart highlight tape tipping their hand that they probably won't take him at 3, but they're going to trade back into the first round to go take him. And so New Orleans, if they want their guy, they'll take him at 9 or trade back to 15.
Potentially. If they trade back to 15, I like it a little bit better than picking it at 9. I don't love doing so at 9. So that's where one of the first spots where we really diverge. You have a totally different philosophy than I do. At 10, the Bears probably would love to get Genty, but with the Jags staying at 5, they can't have that. So they're going to take another offensive weapon for their new head coach and their quarterback. I have them taking Tyler Warren, the tight end out of Penn State.
I think we both have that pick. I like this kid a lot, and I think he's going to do a lot for that offense. It's a big year for them. Big year, and I think he'll be fun to watch in a Ben Johnson offense.
Yeah, the theory around the Bears right now is that they got the quarterback right. They hopefully got the coach right and got the offensive mind out of Detroit, and that's going to unlock Caleb Williams, and they're finally going to see their first-round investment in a quarterback pan out. It hasn't been the Mitch Trubisky. It didn't work. Justin Fields, it didn't work. They're hoping that Caleb Williams, they can finally break through. The third time is the charm, and they need to surround him with a good supporting cast, and so that's what I have them doing at 10. 11, I have Walter Nolan going here for the 49ers. I think they're going to be in the D tackle market with no Mason Graham. I think they're going to like Nolan the best out of Kenneth Grant, Derek Harmon, who has some injury questions, and Walter Nolan. I have Walter Nolan going at 11.
I didn't have him in the top 10, so this is where I have Mason Graham fall to.
Makes sense.
Very similar picks, just didn't have Graham going earlier. So
yeah, if Graham's available, I think Graham's the pick. He wasn't available for me. 12, I have T-Mac, wide receiver out of Arizona, going to the Cowboys. I think they're going to want to make a splash, and I think they're going to want to take a receiver for Dak Prescott, and I think McMillan is going to be the guy.
Same concept for me. I had McMillan go. I think they take Golden at 12. It's a guy we've talked about who we both really like. Cowboys got embarrassed last year. Jerry Jones wants to make a splash. They're going to play an offensive weapon. Doesn't surprise me at all.
13, the Dolphins, I have Jahdae Barron, the corner out of Texas. I think he's going to be the first corner off the board. I think it makes sense for Miami. A couple of the guys that I listen to that are in this space who know Miami pretty well, they've been kind of throwing this out there. So I did I didn't steal this pick, but I was listening and I was like, okay, this makes some sense. So I needed a spot for Jahdae Barron to end up. And so I put him 13 to the Dolphins.
You and I talked about this one. The more I hear about it, the more I fall in love with it, especially after they've kind of publicly said, we are willing to trade Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
Once they put that out there, I thought corner was a safe bet there. 14, feel the same way. Those are two of the picks I'm more confident in. I think you have Colston Loveland as well.
I
do. That's for me. He's a great tight end. Indy needs a tight end. They need weapons. I don't hate this.
Yeah, they need supporting cast for whoever's going to be their starting quarterback next season. And I think they're in the market for pass catcher, and Colston Loveland is on the board. And so they're going to take him. 15. This is where I have Mykel Williams just breaking all of our hearts going one pick in front of the Arizona Cardinals, the edge out of Georgia. Atlanta, they need pass rush. They got their quarterback last year. I would say they have a pretty decent supporting cast around that quarterback. Bijan Robinson, Drake London, they're set there. They maybe could use a person on the offensive line, but I don't love the value here. They need help defensively. They need a pass rusher. They've been searching for it forever. Michael Williams, edge out of Georgia. They can't pass up that guy inside the top 15.
I went Jalen Walker here. Atlanta's an interesting team. They need a lot on the defensive side.
Yeah.
I went linebacker. I think he can do a lot for them. Maybe it was a little bit of hope that hope Michael Williams gets the Cardinals, but I went Jalen Walker in that spot just so I could go Michael Williams at 16.
I was going to say, because of that, Michael Williams is available for you at 16 for the Cardinals. He is not for me, and so I have Josh Simmons going there to the Cardinals at 16. So if you want to see the full mock draft, all 1 through 32, we have some surprises, I think, in the back part of the first round. If you want to see those, they're over on the KDUS AM 1060 Twitter account. All 1 through 32. And the best part is we're going to be able to see how these would score with everybody else, and we'll see how good we were or how bad we were, and if we got some of these right. There are a couple that I'm out on a limb on, certainly in the back part of the first round, that I'm hopeful will pan out for me. But we'll score these the way they
you and me both.
We will score them the way they score them professionally and see where we stand. But that's going to do it for us here on this edition of the program. We are back tomorrow breaking down everything from tonight and the NFL draft and the Diamondbacks with Corbin Burns on the mound. We will be here to break it all down. Jim Rome is coming up next. Producer Evan, thank you for all that you do. Everybody, have a great rest of your Thursday. Enjoy the draft. We'll be here to break it all down tomorrow. See ya!